Welcome back to Hillbilly Storytime, Pentest Fails, with me, Adam Compton. We're going to be picking back up where we left off last time with talking about negligent, forgetful, malicious customers and the kind of things that they can do that will impact you as a pen tester. Hopefully you don't ever encounter any of these kind of issues, but if you do, feel free to understand that you're not alone out there. A lot of us experience these kind of issues. And so let's go ahead and jump back into the discussion here. Then you have the malicious category of customer-caused events. In here you might have things like you really need to get in contact with the customer. You have a question about them before you get started. You need to get the scope, or you need to get something clarified before you get started, or they told you to get their permission before you do some tasking, and now you're to the point where you need to do that. So you call them, no response. You email them, nothing. You try to send them an SMS message, nothing. Maybe if you're lucky, later that day you'll see something. Usually we get some quick feedback. Customers really up on it and all that. But every once in a while you get that customer that sort of, for whatever reason, ignores you for a day, 2 days, something like that, 3 days even, and really puts this engagement in jeopardy of actually getting it finished. Why this is, I have no idea. I actually had one customer one time, the primary and secondary point of contact that was on the statement of work, fine, I had contact info. The first one I tried to contact because of some issue that came up, we need to get some clarification before we could continue. Primary point of contact, no response. Finally found out he's out sick. All right, that's fine. We have a secondary. Try to contact secondary. Oh, they're off-site this week for some sort of executive retreat. Then why were they putting down the secondary point of contact? So we kept fumbling around, finally found somebody else on the initial purchase order, contacted them, and through a little bit of phone chain, just finally we found the right person or somebody who could give us the information we needed, and then we could continue. But it gets really frustrating when you can't find that person that you need, or they're ignoring you for whatever reason. One of the things that bugs me the most also is when you do contact the customer, whether it's through the kickoff call or it's during the engagement, and you're like, okay, like for example, as I said before, they gave you a /8 to target. You're like, okay, can you tell me what are the other systems? Can you narrow that down or whatever? Or can you give me the host names or domain names or whatever the case is that you wanted to know? And their response comes back as, well, you're the hacker. Can't you figure it out? The answer is yes, we can, but it's going to cost time to do that. And unless this is going to be a black box engagement or a red team or something of that nature, most times there's the understanding that we come in with some level of knowledge. We know what your IP space is. We know what your domain names are. Maybe you have multiple domains out there that you want us to target and you're not telling us. There's different things like, yeah, we can do the OSINT, we can do the research, we can do all that and find that. That's costing you valuable time. And every hour we spend doing this, it's costing you, depending on how much you paid for the engagement, a considerable amount. So if you want to play it that way, yeah, as the pen tester will do that, but there's going to be a certain side effect to that in that we're not going to get as much testing done later in the week because now we've spent the first day or so doing all this recon to find out the information that you really should be providing us. One of the other things that I've had customers do to me is going to go on site. The customer says, all right, yeah, we'll see you Monday morning at 8 o'clock. And I'm like, great. So we'll have everything there. You're going to give us a desk. You're going to give us a network tap. So we're going to hook our laptops in. And right there the customer goes, oh, no, you can't bring your laptops. Okay, what do you mean we can't bring our laptops? Well, we're going to be providing you desktops to use. Okay, or laptops, whatever the case is. Okay, that's fine. So we'll be able to use those and install what we need to. Oh, no, you can't install anything on these. You have to use them just as they are. Okay, well, will we at least have local admins, something like that we can? No, you can't do that. Well, can we load things off of like portable apps or something like that off a thumb drive. Oh no, these are not going to have any internet connectivity. You can't install anything. There's no USB or CD connections. You're basically given exactly what we give you. Given enough time, you can work your way around pretty much any scenario and you can get this going. But here again, this is just an unreasonable level of restriction that's placed on you by the customer. Now, if this was understood going into the sales engagement, going all the way through project management, kickoff, all that, that's fine. You knew all this ahead of time and it's been agreed upon. But when they throw this at you at the very last minute and blindside you with it, it's when it becomes an issue. No one's prepared for that. No one's got anything set up for that time. And I've actually arrived on site and they're like, oh, no, we have laptops for you to use right here. And that's when I find out about it. That's happened maybe twice along my entire career. Otherwise, in those scenarios, we've already known about it beforehand and we've taken steps to facilitate that. But yeah, those can be real pain in the butts there. So. And the last one I'm going to talk about is when you do arrive on site, you do have your laptop or they've given you a laptop, whatever scenario is, you're on site, you have everything you need, you sit down, you plug up, and you see nothing. You're like, okay, why not? Why can't I see anything here? They're like, well, we didn't feel like putting you on our server network or our workstation network, whatever, because, well, for whatever reason, they make up some reason, whatever. They placed you on a isolated or segmented network where you're the only thing on that segment or that network, and while you possibly could reach the other networks, they have so many ACLs or whatever in place that's just blocking everything you do that effectively you're completely blocked off from the other ranges. Yeah, sure, at that point you could walk around, see somebody's desktop that's unattended, you do something there. You could put a rogue device on the network somewhere else. It all depends on what is within the statement of work, what's within the rules of engagement, what's allowed, what isn't allowed. But yeah, usually in those scenarios you can talk to them, explain to what's going on, and most times they'll move you over to a better network, move you over to the workstation or printer or some sort of other network. There is always the complete opposite of that. You show up and they're like, okay, let's just put you on the most critical network there is with no ACLs or whatever, and here you go. And so you have full access to everything. But for this scenario or for these level of issues here, it's usually because they don't want you to see anything. That's true with pretty much any of these malicious activities or restrictions or whatever the case is. Like I said at the beginning, it might just be because they don't understand what's going on, or they don't understand what this is going to cause, or they think this is the way it's supposed to be. But there's those times where the customer is doing it just so that they can walk away with a clean report at the end. By restricting you to the point where you can't do anything, or you're unlikely to find any findings, they can almost guarantee that they end up with a clean report at the end. Which I'm okay giving them a clean report, long as any and all restrictions and caveats are placed within the report saying that we were testing this IP range, we were located on this network that had zero access to the target ranges, and if you spell everything out in the restrictions and the targets and all that within the report, I'm okay giving them that clean report because, well, you're fully specifying what was tested and what restrictions there were. Now, ideally, I would love to be able to test in a more realistic environment where you're helping them find the issues, you're helping them fix their issues, things of that nature, but that's not always going to be the case. And you have to deal with it as it is and move forward. Well, that's my little soapbox rant, whatever you want to call it, on malicious or forgetful or just neglectful customers and how they can impact you doing your pen test. So hopefully y'all enjoyed it. I'm going to try to keep more videos coming out. I'm actually going to try to start doing some other types of videos as well. But I'll keep the pen test fails and possibly some more guest appearances and possibly some more talks like this coming across. So If you enjoyed it, as always, please hit the like button. If you want to stay updated to new ones, please hit the subscribe button. And thank you. Have a great day.